Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by.
We are talking to the true guru of marketing, Bob McIntosh. You like that? Is that a good start for you?
That's a fantastic start. I like it.
I like it. So, and as you know, most of our people are, entrepreneurs, small business owners, maybe solopreneurs, only really in the real estate market. In our database, we have a lot of people, and somewhere close to 12,000 people will hear this, hopefully at least, right? So now that you are remembering our market now, and I have not prepped you in any way. I haven't told you what we're going to be talking about, but I know you're the guru of marketing. So I'm going to throw out 3 things that I think, as far as marketing, can make the most money or best ROI. How's that sound?
Fair.
And I want you to, let's shed some light on these, then add some value to the people out there. I'm going to say number one, referral marketing. Let's go over referral marketing. What are your thoughts about referral marketing? And am I right that it is one of the best ways of marketing, best ROI, et cetera, et cetera?
It has its pros and cons. For best ROI, probably. Because let's be real, like someone coming in, being referred, there's already a warmth there, there's trust. It's going to be an easier conversation. So it should convert at a higher rate. However, it's also the most inconsistent. There's no way to control my flow of referral marketing. I can ask for referrals all day long, but it's up to somebody else, which puts the hands of my business in the hands of somebody else, which I don't always love. Now, am I saying you shouldn't do referral marketing? Absolutely not. Look, probably 80% of my business is actually probably built on referrals, but it is hard to control the flow, and it can be very slow going at first. So it depends on where you're at in your space, but you should always have space for it and make sure that you have an active program to solicit referrals from your current customers.
So what's one way of controlling it then? Because I think you're right. That's a good point. You can't really control it. What's one way of controlling it and getting over that barrier to success?
So, I mean, the simplest way is having an actual process. Most people think about it as an afterthought of, oh yeah, I should ask for referrals. But I always like to have a specified process, and I do that very simply. It's the power of 3. So I ask, is there, who are 3 people that you think that need my services? That you would be willing to make the introduction for. And usually people can come up with 3. If you ask for 10, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know. If you ask for 1, you're missing out on getting 3. So I always ask for 3. And then, I always ask them as a reciprocal, after they give me the 3, I'm like, all right, is there 3 people that you think I know that I could help by making an introduction to you for? And now they feel like they've gotten something, right? And if they're like hesitant to give me names, I'll frame it with, hey, by the way, like I'll ask, who can I help you connect with? Because now if I give them 3, they feel naturally like they should be reciprocating back to me with, their 3. So it's one of the ways that I do that as well. So that's the simplest way. And then you've got to make sure that you have, with referrals, your process dialed in, and that you're going to meet the obligations that you give. So what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you're like, hey, if you refer me to 3 people, I'll pay you $100 for each one that becomes a customer, or whatever the number is, right? I'm just spitballing here. Make sure that you actually pay that, right? Because now all of a sudden, when you follow up on your word, they're like, oh, I did get money from that. Let's go, right? And one of the easiest ways that I did this that people haven't done in the past, at least they didn't when I first started it, was referrals for private money lenders. I told all my lenders after I paid them their money back, I was like, hey, by the way, if you refer me 3 people that you think would also want to do lending just like you did, right? I can pay you a referral bonus of 0.5% of whatever amount of money that they lend on their first deal. And they're like, oh, okay, great. And most of them didn't take me seriously, right? Because they're thinking, why would this guy just pay for that? That's silly. But one of them referred me to a guy. He lent us $200,000, so I paid him 5%. wrote him a check and mailed it to him with his next payment and just said, hey, thanks for the introduction. Ironically, that guy now probably has about, I don't know, maybe either just under or just over $1 million with us, but he started at 200,000, right? From a referral. And I paid, whatever, what is 5%? What is that? 10 grand as a referral, but I've gotten literally millions of dollars from this, which I've made far more than 10 grand it cost me to get this guy in the first place. So that's how you go. You got to make sure that you have a good process in place, follow up, and do what you say you're going to do.
And going back to your firm, because it's a lot of it, whatever, 80% or whatever, it's based on referrals. What are you guys doing specifically internally? And, I'm going to ask you to, show us behind the curtain. What exactly are you guys doing? Because I know you guys are having huge growth at your firm. And actually talk about your firm a little bit, will you?
So we do marketing primarily for real estate investors, and our other big chunk is real estate investing, like coaches, and I'll say ancillary service providers. So, you guys would fall on that, like you service real estate investors. So that would be someone. And we help with a lot of things, but what we do, I mean, honestly, ours is pretty straightforward. If you refer us somebody, there's some, how do I put it? There's some hoops you got to jump through to become a referral partner, right? Like there's an agreement that you got to sign, and that's more of a CYA than anything else. I got to cover my butt to make sure that if you do something poorly on your business, it's not going to come back to bite me in the butt. And like I need a W-9 because I want to pay you money. I want to make sure that I can invoice you or 1099 you if I need to, things like that nature. But once you jump through a couple of small hoops, we can oftentimes pay recurring transactions. So a lot of our business has been built on building low upfront costs, but monthly recurring revenue. Because I understand that the long-term value of that is, one, I've got my monthly covered, so I'm more consistent there. I don't have to keep selling every single month. And number two, this business had always been, at least for me, an intention to sell. And I know that recurring revenue has a higher multiple when going to sell than anything else I can do in an agency space, at least. And so we do that. But what's attractive about that as a referral partner is, hey, look, you refer me in a customer, you can be getting a check every single month. It's not even a check, actually. We ACH the money to you. So it just shows up in your bank account one day, and you're good to go. And people like that sort of mailbox money because it's truly about as passive income can get, right? Like, we take care of the sale, we take care of the customer service, we take care of everything. You just get a piece of the revenue for bringing us someone who needed our service. And because we do what we say, right? Like, also, and my business partner Gigi does a great job of this. She tracks everything, right? Like, we know every single customer you've sent, how much they're paid, when they're canceling, where they're at. We send you a report every month, so you got a breakdown of here's what you got going on. If someone cancels or tries to cancel, that's from your sphere. I'll be like, hey, look, like, because you risk losing that income in addition to us. Can you reach out to so and so? I tried to save them, but they didn't want to. Maybe you can. And we've had a lot, like things of that nature. So it's almost like a partnership in a way versus just referral. And by treating it like that and doing the things that we say we're going to do, we have a large number of affiliates who just send us customers. And look, most of them, it's like 2 or 3 or 4 people. It's not anything huge, right? I don't want to be let's say I'm paying them a couple $100 a month. For most folks, it might go, well, it doesn't seem like a lot, but a couple $100 a month pays for a nice dinner someplace every month for, you and your spouse, or pays for some gas, or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to always be massive, but imagine for a second if you had 10 or 15 different companies each paying you $100 or $200 a month. It adds up. That starts to add up very quickly.
Yeah. So you make the equation between referral marketing, or what I call referral marketing, and affiliate marketing, kind of an equation there. That's how you've been able to grow your business, because it's blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less the same, right? Like a referral is just someone saying, hey, I like this. The only difference between, like, most people's mind of a referral and affiliate is the affiliate gets paid, the referral may or may not. And look, if someone's willing to refer me business and they don't want to get paid for it, cool, then I'm fine with that too, obviously, right? But I have no problems making, and a lot of times I'll offer it up without them asking, because then all of a sudden it doesn't feel as transactional to them. It's almost like a bonus, and then they're more apt to refer more people to us. And so we go that way. Now, the other thing too, though, is you've got to make sure that the referral happens in the right way. And what I mean by is when the handoff happens, okay, this is a perfect example. I had someone recently that referred me to a service that I was looking for. I emailed the person in question, and it took them a week to get back to me. And I was already just like, nope, I'm good.
You mean you didn't hear back from them at all, and it took a week for them to contact you the first time? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh,
So the person made the introduction via email.
yeah.
I wrote an email back saying, thank you. Hey, so-and-so, I'm going to send you an email about, directly so that we're not blowing up the referrer for no reason. Sent him an email, and it was a week later before he got back. And there was like no out of office notification or anything like that. And I was just like, look, I if you were truly busy for a week, I get it. Cause I've been there. I've been there, but here's what's not okay. Just let me sit there for a week thinking, well, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. Like, is this guy going to get back to me? Is he going to ignore me? There's so many, just leaving me that way. Right. And, it also it hurts the person who did the referring, right? Because now they're like, oh, like, can I, it reflects badly on them. And not to say that I won't trust their referrals in the future, but it certainly makes it much harder to, because it's like, well, you referred me to so-and-so and it didn't work out. So they didn't even respond to me for a week. So is that, any better or not? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some issues. I'm sure you looked for another vendor or whatever the case was, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
And look, I give people a lot of leeway, right? Because I get it. Like, we're all busy, especially as small entrepreneurs. Like, I don't have a staff of 50 people on my business to make sure that everything's being taken care of, right? Like, we're small. So I will always give people leeway, but there's only so much leeway. And if you're gonna get a referral in, you got to make sure that you take care of it ASAP, because they're already warmed up and ready to go by the point that the referral is happening. So, by delaying further, you're just really leaving money on the table for no reason.
Yeah, totally. And I guess that takes us to number two. And this is kind of an associative referral marketing or marketing. I call it review marketing. So basically, and by the way, I fully admit I suck at marketing. Just I'm going to remind everyone of that. But it's just, I wanted to talk to you because I know I consider you a guru. You know what's up. You know what I mean? As far as marketing, you've got a good reputation. I mean, nationwide as far as marketing goes. Referral marketing. I'm sorry, review marketing, meaning a Google review, sending that out to the right people, therefore them hopefully giving you a good review, and then you turn around and sending that review or those reviews or your website or whatever that has reviews to people. And I think that's a wise, economical way of doing marketing. Thoughts?
It helps. So getting reviews on Google or Yelp or any of these review type platforms, it's almost never going to hurt your business to do so. But again, similar to referral, you just got to have the right processes in place, the right things, and you got to know why you're doing it. This is one of the things that I think people miss the mark on, is they just say, well, someone told me to get reviews, so I went and got a bunch of reviews. Well, the reviews are only as good as the reviews are. And what I mean by that is, if you get a bunch of 5-star ratings, but there's no commentary, it doesn't really carry a lot of weight, because it takes no effort for someone to leave a 5-star rating. So, the assumption is, oh, if there's a bunch of star ratings, but no comments, then they probably bought them. Like, that's the first thing that goes into people's minds is like, oh, this must not be legit, or it's fake, or they paid for these or whatever. Right. So you got to have that. Number one. Number two, is asking for the review at the wrong time. Big mistake I see a lot of businesses make. They ask too late or too early. Like, you've got to basically hit them like literally the moment the job ends. So like, if it's an in-person thing, okay, we delivered the thing, ask for the review right now. Don't ask for 2 days later, a week later, all of that. And look, I am not above, and this is maybe operating in the gray a little bit, maybe more, a little bit, but I'm not above bribing folks for a review.
What do you mean by that? That might be
Like,
funny. What do you mean?
yeah, hey, if you leave a review, it depends on the business, right? So something that makes sense, but it could be, hey, if you leave a review, I'll give you a $25 Amazon gift card. If you leave a review, we'll come back and install some extra thing for you. If you leave a Google review, we'll throw in this extra thing of whatever. Like if you're a coach, for example, you leave a review, I'll give you 1 month of extra coaching calls or group coaching calls or whatever it is. Like it doesn't really matter like what it is. Like just throwing something extra tied to getting the review. And this only really needs to be done if you're, a small number of reviews, and small is going to be relative to your space. So what I mean by that is if the biggest player in your space has 25 reviews and you get 5, then you're doing good. You're okay, right? But if the biggest player in your space has 16,000 reviews and you've got 5, well, then you gotta keep incentivizing to get some more. And if you know your numbers, if you're doing your marketing correctly and you know your numbers, then you'll understand what the value of a review brings to the business. So giving someone $25, right, to leave a review might lead to ultimately, let's say, 5 people coming on board to your business that you might not have gotten otherwise.
Right.
Well, is it worth $5 for each person for that 25 you gave them for a gift card? Probably. Right now, will it be worth it every single time forever for as long as your business goes? No. But at a certain point, once you reach enough reviews, you don't need to incentivize for more. You can just ask for more and they'll do it. And look, if you deliver a good service, a good product, people will want to leave a review.
Yeah, they really will. Yeah.
And then on the other side of this is understand the platform you're asking for reviews on and what the intent of that platform is, right? So when I look at, for example, a service provider, there's far less service providers on Yelp getting reviews than there is on Google getting reviews. And there's far less people looking for a service provider on Yelp than there are on Google.
Yeah.
On a restaurant, on the other hand, complete opposite. Like, this is not to say that they're not looking for Google, right? But you'll drive a lot more business into your restaurant from Yelp than you will from Google in many cases. There is like exceptions, but in most cases that's the case, right? So understand what is my platform's intent and who is my user that's going to be reading these reviews, and go from there. And then the other part of that is understand that your Google profile serves multiple purposes for your business. One, in many cases, it can serve as a customer guide. So as a customer, can I trust your services or products to accomplish what I want? Right. But it also serves as an indicator for potential employees. Right. If I'm a potential employee considering coming to work for you, and I go to your Google My Business page and it's all just terrible customer service, this person was an a-hole, I can't stand them, all this, right? Now, me as a potential employee, I'm going, well, that's the people I got to work with.
Yeah.
Like if they're a bunch of, if they're a terrible group, do I want to go work there? Maybe not. Right. And so now all of a sudden, from a talent acquisition standpoint, your profile serves a purpose there too. So, right. And like another good example is work with a large scale plumbing company, or we're hoping to do work for them, I should say. Right. And they've got three reviews. It's like a 3.7 star rating. It's terrible. But in like the entire state, they're like the second largest commercial plumber and servicer in the state.
Okay.
They're one of only like four businesses that can bond anything above like 20 stories that's being built. Right. So they don't really need reviews to get business, because if there's only 4 people, well, I'm picking one of the 4. I'm going to you for a bid because there's only 4. Right.
Yeah.
But what they do need is they need it for talent acquisition. They need to hire people to continue to service. And, when it looks like you're a shitty business on the front side as an employee, it doesn't look great to attract high quality talent and that. And so they have struggles sometimes with attracting good talent because of that. And look, I'm not saying that if they simply had a bunch of great reviews, it would suddenly solve their problem, but it certainly is a contributing factor.
That's a good point. Sometimes you don't think about that, but there's things that are adjacent to the main business and your services, like getting reviews and then helping bring in an employee and talent. I never thought about that. That's a really good. It's a good point. We use them. I send them to our partners. We call them podcast partners. We send them. Hopefully they'll like how the interview went, and they'll say good things about us, because I think it's important to bring in other podcast partners. You know what I mean? And by the way, I also
100%.
think it's good to automate reviews, but you're right. I think it's got to be done the right way. You don't want to do it when a client's mad. You don't want to do it, when it's too early on. You got to do it the right time. You bring up a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you have the right CRM or systems in place, there's a lot you can do to automate that. And like, you got to make it easy too, right? Like one of the things I got a text one time from someone was like, please leave us a review on Google, Facebook, Yelp, and like something else. And that's it. It's just, and I was like, okay, well, where do I go? What's the page? What's the link? Which one do you want me to leave a review on? I'm happy. Like you did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to leave you a review, but which platform? And it's like in that case, they're trying to send people to 4 different platforms. And I get they want to try to spread the reviews across, but the likelihood of me leaving 4 reviews on 4 different platforms is very, very low.
Yeah, right? That's not going to work.
Yeah. And so you got to do that. Now, the other thing too, and this is something that a lot of people get wrong, in my opinion, is they use review services where I go to a website, I leave a review, and it populates my reviews into other places. Well,
I didn't even
Google
know there was
and these other providers. Yeah, the Google and these other providers know that this is happening now, and they discount those reviews. They don't carry the same weight because like it knows it was made through a third party. So it means that I can control which ones go there or don't, which means I'm manipulating the system, which defeats the purpose. And they know that. So always best to just have a direct link. And it's very easy on all these platforms. You can literally create a unique link. Some of them it's a little harder to understand how to do that. You got to like go to certain places to generate the link. But literally a link that will literally, like for Google, for example, there's a unique link you can generate that I tap on it as a user, and it just simply opens my page and automatically opens the review box. So I can just start typing the review right there. I don't have to click 13 times to get to it.
Whatever's easy for the potential reviewer is the most important thing. It really is. All right, so you're ready for the third and final one, the killer idea as far as marketing goes. It helps with very great ROI. I know you know this one because I've heard you've talked about it. You ready? I wish I had a drum. Email marketing. I think that people are going to spend all this money on Facebook, on whatever, Google ads. When, dude, if people have whatever, let's say someone has 10,000 people in their database, they should be marketing to their database first and foremost. You know what I mean? So let's chat about email marketing. What are your thoughts about email marketing in general?
Email marketing is still one of the best marketing plans that you can possibly do. I don't know if we actually, I don't know if I had the number off the top of my head for 2023.
1 to 40.
But it was like 40. It was hovering around 40.
Yep.
Yeah, dollars for every $1 spent. Yep. Now that's across all industries and all that. And I always say this: if you're looking at it going, Bob, that's BS. I don't believe that number. It's inflated, whatever. Okay, let's say it's just 1/4 of what they say.
Exactly.
So it's $10 for every $1 spent. Where else are you getting a 10x return on marketing? You're probably not. Maybe referral marketing, right? Maybe there, but again, that's not scalable or predictable, right? So email, I can do a lot more. Like I know if I have 10,000 people, my open rate's 20%. Okay, great. That's 2,000 people that are going to open my email. I'm going to get 2% click rate. So that means perfect. I've got 200 people that are going to, click my email, or 400 people, whatever that is. They're going to click my email. Like I know I can kind of work backwards and understand the numbers. So that's first and foremost. Number 2, most of us who are doing marketing spend a ton of time, energy, effort, money to get these leads, and then they just sit there and we do nothing with them, right? Now, the biggest argument I always hear against it is, I don't open emails, so why would anybody else open emails? Like whatever, no one's opening emails anymore. And I'm like, you're right. Email open rates are honestly at some of the all-time low overall. But all-time low still means on average about 20 to 25%, which is still pretty good, right? But let's just leave that aside for a second. Let's assume that someone never opens a single email that they get from you, not one of them. Well, guess what? They still saw your name in their inbox every single day, every week, 3 times a week, however, whatever you're emailing, they're seeing your name. And so then when someone goes, oh, I need a marketing agency, someone goes, oh, you should talk to this guy, Bob. I get a bunch of his emails. I don't open his emails, but you should talk to them. Like, I know he's doing something like, cause you're top of mind because they constantly see your name. And the reality is, as the rates show, they're going to open 20 or 30% of your emails that you send. So you're still going to get them every once in a while. Now, here's the biggest mistake, though, that everyone's making in email marketing, in my opinion, right now. We have transitioned email marketing into like a flash sale, flash bang, do this thing now kind of stuff, right? The majority of the emails that I get today from most companies are all like very frequently, buy my stuff, get a discount. Like it's some sort of like direct action. And I get it. right? Because you want them to go buy something. So you do that. But the art of email marketing as a storytelling technique has been either lost or given up on. But there are still some that do it really, really well. And perfect example, if you know Alex or Leah Hormozy,
I know of them.
they're pretty big in the marketing space, right? Their emails are fantastic. They're always like, so here's the thing, like their big thing they're promoting right now, and I know this because I get all their emails, is this workshop out in Las Vegas you can go to on how to scale your business. And I'm like, sounds interesting. I don't think I can make the date, so I'm probably not going to buy it, but it does sound interesting. But they've probably sent me 15 emails in the last 3 weeks, thereabouts, right? And almost every single one of the emails has something about the workshop in there, but it always gives me something else first. So like the last email that I just opened was like, hey, here's all my scaling SOPs and how we pick the right people for scaling. I'm like, oh shit, that's great. So it's like just a link to a Google Doc and it's just right there. Like there's no, like they've already got my information. They know who I am. They know I'm opening, whatever. And then I went one step further because I opened the emails and clicked the links and they're using the right kind of CRM to track that I clicked the link. 2 days later, I got a thing. It's like, hey, I saw you went to the SOPs. What did you think? Right? Like, actually, here's another document just because you opened it. And I appreciate you being engaged in our emails that no one else is going to get because they didn't click it. Right. I was like, oh, dang, cool. Like now I feel special. Right. I know it's all automated. I get it because I build these things out. But I'm still opening their emails at probably 60 to 70% of the time, which is 3x what the average rate is because they tell a story in the email, they give me something free, and then every once in a while they hit me up and say, oh, by the way, do you want something that I have that you can buy? And yeah, at some point, I'm sure I'll buy something from them. But the point is this, you got to tell these stories and take folks on a journey and deliver value. Email is not a in your face, go buy my stuff thing. Email works best when we take people on a journey and they get to go along the journey with us. Every once in a while, there's a signpost that says, oh, by the way, do you want to stop here and pick up some stuff that we have for sale? Cool, go do it.
Bob, look at you. You just dropped some gems there, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. We only have a couple minutes, but so first, what are your thoughts on those three things? Do you think they're truly good, solid for ROI, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like all marketing, any big business, the more marketing channels you have actively going, the better off you're going to be. So for example, on a recent audit of a bunch of 8-figure companies that I've either done marketing for, am doing marketing for, or have some of my partners working in marketing for, they have actively between 9 and 11 marketing channels going at any given time. Now, I get that if you're not an 8-figure business, you're like, Bob, I can't sustain 9 or 11 marketing channels. Cool. I'm not saying you have to have 9 or 11 today if you're, trying to crack your first million. Okay. But think about this. If you know that it's going to take 9, even just 9 channels to reach 8 figures, that's basically 1 channel for every 1 figure. Right. So if you're trying to be, a $1 million business, that's 7 figures. Well, you probably need 7 channels of marketing. Right. We covered 3 here today, but you're going to need 4 more to really get there. Now, it may not always hold out true, right? Like you could probably do that with 5 or 6, but you're probably not going to do it with 1, right? Unless you're really good at that one. And even if you are really good at that one, now all your eggs are in one basket.
Yeah.
What happens if something changes or shifts or you get shut down or, how many companies I see are like, yeah, we do all of it through paid. One company's like, yeah, we're Facebook only. We're spending $100,000 a day on Facebook. I was like, cool. What happened like a month ago when Facebook and Instagram were shut down because of a system-wide issue? And like, you were still spending, the money was still being spent, but you didn't get any leads that day. I'm like, oh, shoot. I was like, yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend that, but if you're spending $100,000 a day on Facebook, could you spend 85,000 and allocate 15 to something else? Let that thing grow. And now you can spend 150 over the course of, 2 to 4 months to build that up. And now all of a sudden, great. Now you're spending 150, you're back to 100 on Facebook and you're back to 50 on something else like Google or AdRoll or Bing. Actually, ironically, Bing/Microsoft marketing, we're doing great with right now.
It's crazy.
It's a weird thing. But there's all these platforms that we could be spending money on and marketing we could be doing. I would implore you to implement as many as you possibly can effectively. Now, don't half-ass a marketing channel just to say I've got one, because that's not going to work either, right? But whole ass one, get it dialed in, then go to the next and keep building and stacking more and more on.
And that is basically what you do. You put together programs for companies, for us who be an entrepreneur, but really for companies who want to grow their business, right? So in closing, give us a little bit more information about your firm and how to get a hold of you, because I know you have some tools on your website that I think are pretty interesting.
Yeah. So again, we help with marketing. Like, the best thing I say is, like, if you need help in the marketing front, just reach out and let's have a conversation. You're going to find, if you go to our website, which is go3dc.com, you'll see my core values listed there. The first two are integrity and transparency. I want you to know that we're always going to do the right thing no matter what, even if it means that it's the wrong thing for us in our business, but the wrong thing for us is almost still the right thing for you. So really it's the right thing for us, but that's a whole different story for another conversation. And transparency. I want you to understand why we're doing what we're doing, why I'm telling you to do the things I want you to do, or why I'm suggesting it. And what that means is that if I can't help you, I'm going to say, look, I'm not a good fit. I can't help this business, or, it's not. Like, great case point was one of our clients runs a high-end charter yacht in the Virgin Islands. She's like, I want to do a bunch of this stuff. I was like, we can do it for you, but I just don't think it's going to work. And I would feel bad if I did. So I prefer you don't pay me to do that marketing. And she's like, all right, I respect that. Like, I'd rather you not take my money than tell me, yes, we can, and then not deliver results. Then you're going to be pissed. Right. So if you need help in marketing, just hop on a conversation with me. Let's chat. The best way is to go to go3dc.com. So it's GO, the number 3 DC. So for 3 Degrees Consulting, go3dc.com /Bob McIntosh, just my name, BobMcIntosh. So go3dc.com /Bob McIntosh. On there, you can download my full contact card, cell phone, business line, email address, all my socials, everything's there. And if you want to chat, there's a book a time button there. Just book a time. Just let me know that you saw me on the one and only Kenner's podcast. And so that way I know where you came from, because attribution of marketing is everything. I got to know where people came from, so I know where to spend my time doing more stuff.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being on this, because, man, I didn't prep you at all. I like to, go from the hip, shoot from the hip, and I knew you can handle it. I'm glad we did it the way we did. Hopefully, it added some value to the listeners out there, viewers out there, because, man, if people are doing referral marketing, review marketing, email marketing, I think that they can make some dough, especially versus maybe even Facebook or Google ads. You just never know. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Look, we're here to help you grow your business. If we can't, I'm going to let you know, and no hurt feelings. I'm here to help. Like, this is the weird thing. I want everyone to win. I don't like even my enemies. Look, like, whatever you did me wrong for whatever reason, that sucks. And I hope you get that figured out in your life, but I still want you to win, because if you're winning, you're going to do the right thing usually.
That's a good way. That's a good way of looking at it. I really appreciate you, man. To everyone out there, you've been listening and watching The Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Till next time, everybody. Dude, that was